Hello everyone, FarmSimGuy here, hope you're all doing well. Welcome back to another little Courseplay vid, and today we are going to be answering a few of the questions that I had put in the comments after my last few videos. So, first of all, we'll jump in and we'll look at 4 different things that people have asked over the last couple of weeks, and we'll try and answer those for you here. We also will do something similar with AutoDrive in the next few weeks. There's a few comments from people on that video as well, so if you have any AutoDrive questions, feel free to have a look at those videos, and if you've got anything you want to ask away, and I'll try and answer them in future videos. But for now, we are focusing on Courseplay, and we're going to start with a little question from one of my followers called Call Him Smoke, who asks, how would you do a square field? Right, let's jump into the tractor here, and if we pull up our menu here and press on no course, in future you will have the option to create courses down here. It was a feature in FS22 and it will be coming back in FS25. In fact, if we go to the help menu here, it actually talks to you about how you can create custom fields, and it actually has the option in the bottom here to draw them, but as it says in the notes at the moment, they aren't ready to release that element yet, so that will be coming in a little while. So with that in mind, at the moment, until that feature is available, we're going to have to do this manually, and I'll show you what I would do for this. Not ideal, but it is what it is until we get that option. So I'm going to drive onto the field here, and now if you look in my mini-map in the bottom corner, I have got my angle set to 0 here. Now hopefully my steering wheel is pointing straight, but basically what you're going to need to do here is hit your record button, just here. And you're going to roll forward, trying the best you can to keep that angle sitting around about 0. I'm sure the odd 0.1 or 2 of a degree isn't going to be the end of the world. But then what you do is when you get to a point that you're happy with, let's say here, we're going to hit the pause button. We are going to get ourselves positioned. And we're going to go for our next angle, which is going to be 90 degrees on the right angle. So there we go. If I can get that a little bit straighter, there we go, 90.1, 90, there we go, that'll do. Now just make sure that you're over the last point. Now lift off the pause button again here, and it creates your next angle. So again, roll forward as far as you need to. Keep that angle as close to 90 as you can. We're on 89.6, but I'm sure it'll be fine for this demonstration. Get to this point again. Hit the pause button. And we're going to rotate around here. Now, I'm assuming if you're creating your own fields like this, you have already understood and know how to use Courseplay and the basics of it. If you don't, I strongly recommend checking out my initial video first, which will give you some of those initial tips and features of how to use Courseplay, how to set up keybinds and things like that. But for this one, just purely the example of how to set up a square field to answer the question that I had in the comments is why we're doing this one. So again, we're getting lined up here, 179.9, 180.2, 180, there we go. So we're happy with that. Again, press your middle mouse button, will allow you to get your mouse to operate the HUD here. Lift pause off again. Again, the angle's slightly off there, which is interesting, but we are in a straight line now. We're going to gun it across here. Now we need to be a little bit mindful of where our first point was as well. I'm going to stop there. Again, pause again here. We are going to rotate round and join this back up where we can. So like I said, at the moment it's a little bit of a manual process, not ideal, but I do believe that that feature will be coming, I'm guessing, in the relatively soon future. It's a pretty standard feature across other versions of Courseplay, so hopefully they're just ironing out some of the bugs or some of the changes to the game that have come with FS25. So again, let's just make sure we're accurate on this one. Somewhere like that. There we go. Now you see I've reversed right up over the other point now, and we've got a better angle. We've got a slight kink in the field in that bottom corner, but this time seems to work pretty well. So again, we are going to head down now, and remember, if you remember from my other video, the aim here is to not overlap these. So I would probably stop this somewhere around about here and give that a go. You can't click and move any of these points yet. When you can edit courses in the future, you will be able to do that, and of course I will do a video on that as and when that feature arrives, but you can't edit these points at the moment, so whatever you create here is what you are going to be stuck with. So at this point we can click off the record button now. Do you want to save the recorded course as custom field CP1? We're going to say yes to that. And of course it disappears, but it does exist if we go back into no course, and you can see we've got a nice square field there, all looking very good. Now this leads me on to the next question somebody asked. What can you do to rename that field? Well, interestingly, I thought this wasn't in this version of Courseplay because I couldn't work out how to do it. But it is in there, and I'm going to show you how to do it now. So it's not easy to find, or I certainly didn't find it easy to find, but basically what you want to do is hit escape because you don't want a tractor selected. And as you can see now, you've got no active workers, but you can still create a job, so you can still get back to that menu quite quickly. If you want to, you just select the tractor and hit create course. I'm going to escape again though. So we're on escape. Now if you press escape a second time, watch the menu down the right hand side. Two of the functions disappear, and all you have now is the helper settings of no tractor, nothing selected. So you've hit escape 2 times, and now it gives you the option to click on CP1 here, rename your custom field. So in this instance we are going to call it field 1, nice and original, and OK it, and there we go, we have field 1 now. Some of the observant among you will have also noticed we can answer another question here from Crazy Gaming UK, who asks, can you delete a custom field? Well, as you may have spotted there when we had the rename, you can also delete that custom field at the same time. So let's just do that, shall we? Well, in fact, let's not do it just yet, because I want to show you something else as well, due to another question from Liquid Zero, and that is, how do you delete a course? So let's get back in the tractor, let's maneuver ourselves so we're within the boundaries of our field. We are gonna, let's give it a couple of headlands, 3 headlands in fact, there we go. That's all we need to do. There is our course sitting there in our custom field, all looking very good, all looking very nice. Now, what I want to do here, if I don't want this course anymore and I want to recalculate it, you can go into here, or if you've gone onto another field and you've still got this course loaded up, what you want to do here is go to your 4th button down here. Now there's not showing anything, we haven't saved this course or done anything like that, but what we can do here, the 3rd button in, is just clear current course. Now if I click on that and we go back to our course menu here, you can see we just have the border of the field now. That course has gone straight away. And again, you can go in here, let's make it 2 headlands this time, generate fieldwork course, and there you go. A new course with 2 headlands this time. Now you'll sometimes find if you've done a course on a field, you've completed a field, you've cultivated a field and moved on to another field, it still has the old field loaded. So yes, that's a very handy one to have, to be able to go in and just clear that current course before you create a new course. Very helpful thing to do. Now, very quickly to go back to Crazy Gaming UK's question, how do you delete a course? So we're going to hit escape 2 times again. We're going to click on field 1, and there you go, delete custom field, and that will get rid of our edge border that we drew when we drove the tractor around in that square. So there we go. Do you want to delete custom field 1? Yes, we do. And there we go. We have no custom fields on the map anymore. So there you go. Questions answered. Right, final question in this video comes from Mr. Bubbles, who actually asks a couple of things. First and foremost, does Courseplay count as AI workers? As in, does it have associated costs with it? Or is it magic of sorts and the work just gets done? But he does say, regardless of the answer, having multiple vehicles running on the same field at the same time is a game changer, which I have to agree with him on. But yes, it is treated exactly the same way as AI workers. So if we pull up our HUD here, and let's just go into no course, but go into the settings. Up here you can see Courseplay driver wages are at 100%. So if you're running Courseplay and you leave this at 100%, you will get charged as the worker goes around the field. You can of course drop this down to 50%, or if you're really tight with cash, you can drop it to 0 as well. It all depends on how you want to play, but yes, it does treat them as AI workers, and that you do get charged for it if you have the setting switched on. The second part of his question though is, do you also have any experience with missed bits? For instance, on your field in the corner at 7:30, do they go back and collect those? So he's referring here to the multi-combine video as we drove around the corners, and it leaves the little triangles in the corner of the fields, which we all know is a bit of a frustration, and also it's something that happens in real life, and they tend to drive out and pick those bits up at the end, or they depending on the amount of space they've got, they'll cut into them straight away. It varies depending on where you are, but let's just do a little bit of a demonstration on that. It's all down to how you generate your course. Right, if we go into our menu here, we can see that we have got the border of the field selected. We'll go into our fieldwork settings here, and you can see we have a number of headlands 3. We're starting on the headlands. Now we've got sharpen headland corners activated, and the number of round corners 1. Now we can deactivate that if we want, and it will give us a corner radius. So let's just generate the fieldwork course. Now you can see here we have got a rounded corner at the edge of the headland. That's to make it easier for the combine to turn as it goes round those corners. Now, if we go back to our fieldwork settings here, you can turn number of rounded corners up if you want to, and that will just regenerate that course. And you can see now the rounded corners go for every single corner, or you can go in and you can knock those rounded corners right down to 0. So there we go. And you can sharpen headland corners. So let's activate that as well. I'll show you what happens with that. Let's generate it again. But you can now see we've got hard square corners in the edge of the field. And I'll show you what happens. Come out of here. And we'll turn our course on so you can see what's happening. As you roll up to the corner of the field. So we'll go along to the end here. Now if it was a rounded corner, it would just continue the turn, and it would leave a little triangle of the crop in the corner of the field. Now, because we've squared off those corners, what it'll do now, it'll cut right into the corner, like so. Then it'll lift, reverse slightly, it will cut in, and then take another little chunk of the field out, and then it'll maneuver itself so it's ready to go again on a straight. As it goes further down, let me just remove the menu so you can see a bit better what's going on. There we go. It's cut himself a little bit more space there, and now it'll position itself to make sure it hits this headland straight on without leaving any crop in the field. So to answer your question, it's all down to how you set your course up, and if you want straight edges or you want rounded edges. But good old Courseplay, it can do both. So again, another really good opportunity with Courseplay to customize things and make things work how you want them to work. But there we go, that's it. All the questions so far that I thought warranted an answer, but keep them coming, and I will try and answer as many of them as I can. If there is future updates, we can have a look at them in future videos, or if it's available or at the moment, I'll certainly show you how to do it. And just to highlight there as well, our money is going down in the top right hand corner. We just had a minus $25 bill come in as our worker is operating the combine in the field here. So there you have it. I hope you found that useful and helpful, and we'll see you again in another video very soon. Take care. Bye for now.